Okay, so in this video today, we are going to be talking about and exploring unit rates as part of our study on proportional relationships and how to find the unit rate when we have fractions. So let's look at the first example together. So let's say we're painting a shed and we are painting, we're going to be painting the entire shed. But we are able to paint 36 square feet in 45 minutes. So now the question that we need to answer is, how much will this person, or us if we're painting it, or the ones painting it, be able to paint in 1 hour? And 1 hour is going to be the unit rate. So how much will we be able to paint in 1 hour? When we're talking about unit rates, we're talking about per one. So this is just something that we need to keep in mind. So when we're looking at, for example, miles per hour, that's how many miles per 1 hour is someone driving. We can talk about unit rates in a number of different ways, but the important thing to remember is that when you're writing out a unit rate, and we're writing it out as a fraction or as a ratio, the bottom number is always going to be 1. The label or the term that you're using could be different, but the bottom number is always going to be 1. This indicates that it is a unit rate. So we are looking at 36 square feet in 45 minutes. So the first thing we're going to have to do is write that out as a ratio. So it's going to be 36, and we can say feet squared, in 45 minutes. And our goal is to find out, well, how much will they be able to paint in 1 hour? Now, the first thing is we need to make sure that the units that we're using are the same. So we're going to make sure that both top numbers are in feet squared, and both bottom numbers have to be in either minutes or hours. Well, we're going to keep the 1 hour, but we're going to change 45 minutes to be represented as the fraction of an hour. So I know that 15 minutes is 1/4 of an hour. And I also know that 15 minutes 3 times equals 45 minutes. So therefore, 45 minutes, I'm still in the eraser tool. 45 minutes is 3/4 of an hour. So now we are going to use this information to figure out what is this missing piece of information. And there are a couple of ways we can do this. I am going to show you the way that will always work, no matter what the numbers are, but there are also other ways that we can do this. So we are going to use the butterfly method. So I am going to replace my question mark here with a variable. I'm going to put x. So I am going to write out my multiplication equation. 36 times 1 equals 3/4 x. Now my next step is going to be to solve for x. Well, first I'm going to have to do out the multiplication, then solve for x. So I end up with 36 equals 3/4 x. Sorry about that. So now we are going to solve for x. So we're going to divide both sides by 3/4 so that we can isolate the variable. So we're going to end up with 36 divided by 3/4 equals x. Now, in order to do division with fractions, I need to remember keep, change, flip. 36 divided by 3/4, and I'm going to use keep, so I'm going to keep the 36. So this is going to be keep. I'm going to change my sign to multiplication, and I'm going to flip my second fraction. Now I'm going to multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom. So once I do out the multiplication, I am going to find out that 36 times 4 is 144 divided by 3. And 144 divided by 3 is 48. So what we learned is that I will be able to paint 48 square feet in 1 hour. So if I was going to write that as a ratio, I would then write that as 48 square feet per 1 hour. Now I'm going to go back to my original question, and I'm going to rewrite my original proportions so we can look at those again. 36 feet squared for every 3/4 of an hour comes out to 48 feet squared per 1 hour. Now, what's important is that I double check that this is reasonable and it makes sense. So looking at this, I know 3/4 of an hour is pretty close to an hour, but I do know that it's less than an hour. So if we're able to do 36 squared feet in a little less than an hour, if we got a huge number right here, we would know that likely didn't make too much sense. So we would have to really think about whether or not a really big number or a number that's smaller than 36 would make sense here. So ultimately, after all the work, we learned that we can paint 48 square feet of our shed every hour. Thanks for watching.